Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to this morning's Bhagavatam reading. So today we are reading from Canto 3, which is the status quo, chapter 26, which is fundamental principles of material nature. And we're going to be reading texts 53 through 55. So we'll get started. 53. Hiranmayad andakosha uttayash salileshayat tam avishya mahadevo bahuda nirbhiveda kham. Word to word. Hiranmayat, golden, andakoshat, from the egg, uttaya, arising, salile, on the water, shayat, lying, tam, in it, avishya, having entered, mahadeva, the supreme personality of Godhead, bahuda, in many ways, niribheda, divided, kham, apertures. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Virat Purusha, situated himself in that golden egg, which was lying on the water, and he divided it into many departments. 54. Nirabhidyatasya prathamam mukham vani tato bhavat vanyavanir athonase pranato grahana etayo. I'll just go to the translation and purport. First of all, a mouth appeared in him, and then came forth the organ of speech, and with it the god of fire, the deity who presides over that organ. Then a pair of nostrils appeared, and in them appeared the olfactory sense, as well as prana, the vital air. Purport. With the manifestation of speech, fire also became manifested. And with the manifestation of nostrils, the vital air, the breathing process, and the sense of smell also became manifested. 55. Kranadvayur abhityetam akshini chakshuretayo tasmat suryo nyabhityetam karnau shrotram tato dishaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the wake of the olfactory sense came the wind god, who presides over that sense. Thereafter, a pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, and in them the sense of sight. In the wake of this sense came the sun god, who presides over it. Next, there appeared in him a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense, and in its wake the Dig Devatas, or the deities who preside over the directions. Purport. The appearance of different bodily parts of the Lord's universal form and the appearance of the presiding deities of those bodily parts is being described. As in the womb of a mother, a child gradually grows different bodily parts, so in the universal womb, the universal form of the Lord gives rise to the creation of various paraphernalia. The senses appear, and over each of them there is a presiding deity. It is corroborated by this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam and also by Brahma Samhita, that the sun appeared after the appearance of the eyes of the universal form of the Lord. The sun is dependent on the eyes of the universal form. The Brahma Samhita also says that the sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Yat Chakshuresha Savita. Savita means the sun. The sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, everything is created by the universal body of the Supreme Godhead. Material nature is simply the supplier of materials. The creation is actually done by the Supreme Lord, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Under my direction does material nature create all moving and non-moving objects in the cosmic creation. So these are the three verses. We'll just quickly invoke the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome again to this morning's Bhagavatam discussion. I feel fortunate to have an opportunity to read the Bhagavatam, but then, just as disclosure, I just got back last night from a business trip to Wisconsin, and haven't been able to prepare much. So I'll share something, and then if please do feel free to add your thoughts and comments as you wish. I do want to seek the blessings of my Guru Maharaj and all of you assembled nice devotees, so that I can speak something of some value for this time. So, this chapter on Sankhya philosophy, it has been, of course, quite technical, and I feel definitely beyond my league to understand. But then I found this. There was this outline that I found, and it is there in Bhagavad. I think Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's Bhagavad Prabhava. But if you can see this, this outline kind of helped out, because just to see how this chapter flows, right? The fundamental principles of material nature. I mean, of course, definitely so appreciative of the fact that in Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole process of creation and all the constituents of material nature are explained in so much detail. None of this exists with our, with everything that we've been studying in school, etc., that science provides, or modern day science provides. But this science is just mind-boggling. So this chapter as such, started with the benefits of hearing about the Sankhya philosophy. And that itself really should, get us focused on giving more attention. But, poor stupid souls like me, it's hard for, with all the covering conditioning. But anyway, the benefits, the falashruti of hearing of Sankhya philosophy is, one is it gives us freedom from the modes, gives self-realization, and thirdly, cuts the knot of attachment to this material world. Right? So such important benefits. So, and then there were several verses, about 6 verses, that talk about the jiva, prakriti, and purusha, and their interactions and their characteristics. And then the chapter went into the characteristics of the various elements And we heard in depth about them, right? Earth, water, the smell, and everything. Characteristics of Pradhan, time, Mahatattva, and the other elements. And now we are in this section, which is Karya Srishti, which is the effects of the cause. And following this is going to be creation of the various limbs of the Virat Rupa. Okay, and so that's how it is. It's flowing. So coming back to our verse. So, talking about Karya Srishti in in text 51, in that section, right, 50 through 51, we learned about this unintelligent egg, right? How matter, by itself and using all these elements and all these ingredients, existed in this unintelligent egg, but it was of no consequence really. It was an egg lying in the water. Only when the Lord entered into it and breathed, he basically breathes life into it, that everything kind of starts to manifest and take shape. And the cosmic being manifests, Virat Rupa manifests, right? So, throughout, and that's what really caught my attention. And that's the theme that I'll hopefully, try to kind of touch upon. Because in today's verse also, this talks about how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Virat Purusha, as he manifested, he situated himself in that golden egg, which was lying on the water, and he started to divide it into many departments. So the verse, the Sanskrit itself talks about, it says, Tam Avishya Mahadevo Bahuda Nirvibheda Kham. So he entered into this, egg, and he divided it. This come word, if you look at the word to word, it's actually apertures, apertures. That's what he did. He divided into many apertures. And what is an aperture? An aperture is an opening or a gap, or, if you think of a building, doors or windows. So it's something that connects the interior to the exterior. So if you think of a building, and we'll come to the Virat Purusha as well. Say our temple building, right? We have so many doors. We have one main door and then multiple other doors. There are many windows. There's vents for ventilation. There are apertures for water pipes, electric, pipes and stuff going on. And all of these are, have some controls, right? I mean, some doors close at a certain time, get locked. The main door gets locked. The others can be opened only from the inside and things like that, right? Similarly, so actually, before going there, now think if that building did not have any of these openings, right? Then it would be just an inert kind of a box sitting there, no real functionality, right? And our bodies too, if we did not have these various, senses, openings, right, apertures, so to say, our mouth, eyes, nose, ears, then these various functions that we do, the eating, speaking, sight, hearing, without all of these, the body would be, nothing, right? It would not be functional at all. So in a way, what we're hearing about how the universal form, and what happens in that golden egg and what the Lord does, our body is also a small sample of the universe. Right? Or actually, to put it in the opposite way, we are actually a copy of that universal form in a way, right? And so text 54 onwards, in this chapter, everything is about how the various limbs of the Virat Purusha start to get created. those sense organs, those apertures, the mouth. We hear about, so first of all, the mouth appeared in him, and then the organ of speech, and then the god of fire, and the deity who presides over that organ. So, um, and so, so here what we are hearing is, in addition to these, senses, these organs that get created, and the function that they have, the organ of speech, the nostrils, which give the olfactory sense, as well as prana. Now, in addition to that, also the deities that control them get created. So earlier, we had heard about the creation of the elements, right? Like we saw in the flow, and the characteristics of them. And now we are hearing about those elements, how they kind of fit into the Virat Purusha, right? And the presiding deities are also manifesting, step by step, gradually they are manifesting. So, in the last verse for today, for example, it talks about, in the wake of the olfactory sense came the wind god, and the wind god presides over that sense. Thereafter, a pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, and in them the sense of sight. And in the wake of this sense came the sun god who presides over it. Next, there appeared in him a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense, and its wake the Dig Devatas, or the deities who preside over the directions. So, like this, and we can take a look at this chart, which again Gauranga Darshan Prabhu has put together. So here, the list of the organ, the function that it performs, and the presiding devata, right? So we have mouth, speech, presiding devata being the fire god, or Vanni. Nostrils, it is the grana, which is we are able to smell, and Vayu is the sense, the devata. Similarly, Akshini, eyes, and which gives the sense of sight, and Surya is the devata. And today so the first four is what we are reading about today. The ears, which gives Shrotram, or the auditory sense, and the Dig Devatas. So similarly, in the next few verses, we will go over all of these, the rest of the list as well. Right? And in the purport, Prabhupada talks about very, kind of gives some perspective to all of this. So Prabhupada, in the purport, he talks about the appearance of the different bodily parts of the Lord's universal form, and appearance of the presiding deities of these bodily parts is being described. And he compares this, just as in the womb of a mother, a child gradually grows different bodily parts, so also in the universal womb, the universal form of the Lord gives rise to the creation of various paraphernalia. So, in the womb of the mother, I mean, this we know from modern science, that it starts as a single-celled fertilized egg. And that gradually grows, right? And as it grows, actually, before it even, growing, the spirit soul, right? Soul enters into it. And that's when the changes start to take place. Just as, with this egg, once the Lord enters into it, that's when the Virat Purusha manifests, and all of these organs start to appear. Similarly, now in the mother's womb as well, in living beings, once that little, one-celled fertilized egg, once the spirit soul enters into it, it starts to grow, and the organs appear. Step by step, that growth happens. So it's like, there's this protocol or methodology which is consistent, throughout everything. I mean, how amazing is it, right? I mean, what a great engineer the Lord is. I mean, just so mind-boggling. But again, we are in the hands of someone so great and so wonderful. So that's how that same manifestation of the universe, just in a different scale, is happening. And in Bhagavad Gita, right, of course, it is said that Maya Dhakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. And all of this is, as we've been hearing it, all of this is happening under the direction of the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says it. The material energy, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So, obviously the material nature has a big hand in it, but that also is obviously a part of Krishna, right? So it is under his direction that material nature creates everything and then annihilates everything. And so, really, like I said, I just got back from a business travel last night, and so I haven't prepared much, but that is my takeaway. The fact that everything happens under his direction and will. The golden unintelligent egg came to life when the Lord entered into it. Each living being, each tiny living being develops only when the spirit soul, goes into it and breathes life into it. And so the devatas, everything, right? Everything as we see is being manifested by Krishna. The material energy, also an energy of Krishna. So, um, and we know that, we are not the body, but rather the soul. And all of this, right? Every part of us, me, you, everybody, everything is Krishna's, right? Even the diseases that we get, that is Krishna as well. The medicine that we take to cure the disease, that is also Krishna. So, but the thing is, yet if you think about it, we like some people, we don't like some people so much and whatnot. And all this, if we were to see it in the right perspective, that, hey, this is, it's all part of Krishna. It is, this is all Krishna. Like my Guru Maharaj says, everything is either Krishna or Krishna's. So then, why discrimination, right? Are we really able to see everything as, Krishna in everything, right? And in fact, yesterday, as I was driving back from Wisconsin, you may have heard the weather was really, really bad. There were tornado warnings, thunderstorm warnings. And as I was, it's a 5.5 hour drive. In different sections, I was encountering, it's like, okay, a little bit of okay weather and then hailstorm for some distance, a thunderstorm for another, distance. And I'm sure I saw some parts of tornadoes as well, because I could see like dust storms with debris, coming towards us. There were so many cars were stopped and parked under bridges, taking some shelter. I mean, it was really, really scary, actually, this drive last evening. And I was, while driving, before all this started, I was actually contemplating on, thinking about these verses, because I knew about this, this talk today. And while I was, when I came into this bad weather space, as I was, doing all the practical things of slowing down, turning on the hazard lights, trying to keep a grip on the steering wheel, because the car was like swaying, heavy winds. There were these big trucks, and it felt like they would kind of sway over onto my car. I mean, it was really bad, poor visibility, and just So just as a continuation of what I was thinking about these verses, I was thinking that, hey, all this strong, dangerous wind, these hailstorm coming at me, it's all of this is also Krishna. So what do I have to worry about, right? But then immediately my thought went to the fact that I have not done enough by way of sadhana at all. I mean, my chanting is not sincere. It's so distracted. I waste my time. I'm complacent most of the time. So even if I think that, okay, this is all Krishna, you do the practical things, but whatever happens, it's up to Krishna. But have I done enough to really deserve, that special attention from Krishna? Although he is so kind, and he reciprocates in so many ways. So I was thinking, if I get through this, alive, um, I really need to get serious now, and chant attentively, pay more attentions, really, really see Krishna in everything, and that distractions. I mean, all sorts of distractions, social media, the YouTube shorts, and this, that, and the other. Um, I don't know. I mean, we forget, of course, when we're in difficult times, we think of some things and make some gulpas, and then we forget. But that's my prayer really for today, for me as well as for all of us, that we can focus, we can see, with these chapters, that we are studying about. I mean, that's the takeaway. How meticulously, how with such love and affection, Krishna has created this universe for us because we wanted to enjoy on our own. And all he wants is for us to remember him, remember him and come back to him, right? So, so that's the prayer, that we may see Krishna, that we may, do what is prescribed for this yuga, chant with attention, learn to love, and love the chanting, love the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because that's how we go back. That's how we reestablish our relationship with him, and make our life successful. So thank you. Sorry, that's all I have for today. If please do feel free to add. Like I said, this chapter is outside my league, really. But yeah. Anybody wants to add something?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. You said you didn't get time to prepare, but it was just so wonderful. I especially like the point about, your closing comment, how the Lord is present in everything. For every single thing, He's the catalyst. Otherwise, nothing moves. And, I was thinking of the pastime of Samudra Manthan, but for every little thing he had to appear, right? Like,
Yeah.
he had to appear as Hari. He had to, tell them they had to get Vasuki. He had to sit on top of his sorry, he was Kurmadev, he was Hari, he had to guide the devas and the demons, and then he had to come as Mohini. And he came 7 times, I think, in that pastime. So he was the catalyst in that pastime. And you can see that in creation, I think for me also, every single time to see that he's personally he's overseeing the creation. And what's the purpose of creation? It is because, one, he wants to give some service to Chaya Devi, who is waiting to serve him in one way. And then, two, it is to create this stage, the grand stage, where we can delude ourselves that we are the actors, and, we have those, uh, we are the lord of our little world. So it is for that purpose that he's undergoing. I mean, in one sense, it might seem like a trouble, but it's not a trouble for him. Still, it's a leela, but he's there at every step, every little step. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. I know, and that is so wonderful. Uh, and we forget though, right? We get so involved in our own little world, our own little bubble. But it is so amazing. I mean, he is self-satisfied. He's Atmaram, and yet he is there for us at every step. I mean, so much by way of reciprocation that we see throughout, every day almost. Something that we desire, something in relation to him, and it manifests. So yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, for bringing up that pastime. Anyone else have anything? Okay, if not, we will end. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।